Have you ever woken up in the morning and immediately felt a heavy wave of anxiety washing over you before your feet even touched the floor? You have not even looked at your phone. You have not spoken to anyone, and you have not started working, but your heart is already racing. Your mind is already scanning the horizon for potential threats, replaying past arguments, or predicting future disasters. If this sounds familiar, you are not simply stressed or going through a difficult week. You are caught in a deeply ingrained neurological loop. You are biologically living in survival mode. And the most dangerous part of this state is that it has become so normal to you that you do not even realize you are trapped inside it. Today, we are going to look at the hidden mechanics of your nervous system. We will visually deconstruct the massive difference between living in survival and living in creation, heavily inspired by the groundbreaking work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. By the end of this, you will understand exactly why it feels so impossibly hard to change your life and the exact psychological shift required to finally break free from the invisible chains of your own biology. To understand the trap, we must first look at how your brain was originally designed to function. For thousands of years, the human stress response was an evolutionary masterpiece. It was a highly efficient short-term system designed specifically to keep you alive in a dangerous world. Imagine our stick-figure ancestor walking through the jungle. Suddenly, a massive predator appears. Instantly, the sympathetic nervous system activates. The brain releases a massive flood of adrenaline and cortisol. Blood rushes away from the internal organs and goes directly into the limbs so you can run or fight. In this specific moment, your brain does not care about your long-term goals, your creative projects, or your deep personal growth. It only cares about one single thing: surviving the next 5 minutes. When the threat is gone, the system is supposed to shut down, returning the body to a natural state of homeostasis and deep balance. But in our modern world, the predator has completely changed its shape. You are no longer running from a tiger in the jungle. You are running from a passive-aggressive email, a looming mortgage payment, the terrifying fear of social judgment, or the endless scroll of negative news. The problem is that your primitive brain cannot tell the difference between a physical threat to your life and a psychological threat to your ego. It responds with the exact same chemical flood. Because these modern threats never actually disappear, your stress response never shuts off. You spend your entire day living in a state of chronic emergency. You are constantly anticipating the worst-case scenario. This is what Dr. Joe Dispenza calls living in survival. When you live in survival, your focus narrows completely. You become obsessed with 3 things: your physical body, your external environment, and time. You are constantly rushing, constantly defending, and constantly reacting to the outside world. Over time, a terrifying neurological adaptation occurs. Your body actually becomes addicted to its own stress hormones. The rush of cortisol feels like energy. The constant anxiety feels like a necessary shield protecting you from failure. If you try to relax or sit still, your body literally sends panic signals to your brain, demanding the familiar chemical rush of worry. Your body has been conditioned to become the mind. You are no longer choosing your emotional state. Your memorized chemical past is dictating your entire biological future. This is exactly why trying to change your life through positive thinking usually fails completely. You cannot create a new future while your body is chemically anchored to the trauma of the past. To actually change, you must cross the neurological river from survival into the state of creation. Living in creation is the exact opposite of the stress response. When you are in creation, you are no longer reacting to your external environment, you are actively designing it. The brainwaves slow down from the highly erratic beta state of stress, dropping into the smooth, rhythmic alpha and theta states. In these states, the prefrontal cortex, the creative center of your brain, turns on with brilliant intensity. When you are in creation, you lose track of your physical body. You lose track of your environment. You lose track of time itself. You have probably experienced this rare state when you were deeply immersed in a passionate hobby, solving a complex puzzle, or experiencing a moment of profound joy. In this state, the survival mechanism is completely turned off. There is no predator. There is only possibility. But transitioning from survival to creation requires you to do the hardest thing a human being can possibly do. You must willingly step into the absolute unknown. When you have lived in survival for years, the known past, even if it is painful and stressful, feels incredibly safe because it is entirely predictable. The unknown feels like a terrifying threat to your nervous system. To become a creator, you must sit in the terrifying discomfort of the unknown without reaching for your familiar stress. You must force your body to surrender to a new mind. You do this by deliberately visualizing the future you want and genuinely feeling the elevated emotions of that future before the actual event happens. You must teach your body chemically what that new future feels like: gratitude, abundance, freedom, and deep peace. If you do this consistently, you start firing and wiring entirely new neurological networks. You are literally installing new biological hardware. You begin to walk through your day not as a victim of your circumstances, but as the architect of your reality. You stop bracing for impact and you start building the bridge. The external world no longer dictates your internal state. Your internal state begins to powerfully shape your external world. The predator is gone. The blank canvas is waiting. Living in creation is not a superpower reserved for a chosen few. It is a biological capability built into your human design. It requires immense patience and relentless practice to overcome decades of survival programming. But every single time you choose to observe your stress instead of automatically reacting to it, you reclaim a fraction of your lost power. You stop living in the endless echoes of the past, and you finally begin to walk into the boundless potential of the present moment. This is where your life actually begins.